Hello, welcome back. Last time in part 1, we ended up with the idea that God's plan is actually not a detailed step by step scenario of what happens in our life. Rather, it is an invitation to have a loving relationship with God. And we are invited to align our hearts to His values. We are, of course, free to make our choices at any point of our life. We can align whatever we are doing with His values, but we can also just follow our own plans, right? We have the choice for doing that. We have free will. Consider the life of Joseph in Genesis chapters 37 to 50. Joseph went through immense hardship, which included betrayal by his brothers, imprisonment, slavery, and so many difficulties, right? What he went through certainly did not look like a plan to prosper as what is mentioned in Jeremiah. But through all those trials, he eventually rose to a position where he saved his family as well as many others. When he reflected on his journey in his life, he mentioned to his brothers in Genesis chapter 50, verse 20. He said, "You intended to harm me, but God intended it for good to accomplish what is now being done, the saving of many lives." Notice that he did not mention that God planned for him to be sold to slavery, but God used even the harmful intentions of others for a greater good. Notice that Joseph reflected on his life. So, it is very important for us to stop for a while and reflect also on our life. We really have to reflect and look at our life. What has happened to us? What did I pass through? What did I go through? Have I suffered so much? Then, if we reflect, we might see the greater picture. We might see that God has always been there even through our hardships, and He can make something of this. All the trials that we go through, He can make something good out of it. We only need to trust Him and call on Him anytime, at any point in our life. Right? If we reflect on our life, maybe like Joseph, we might find something useful, even if uh, our plans might be off course. Yeah, we might find something. We might see God's greater plan. Do we find ourselves in a better position now than from what we were several years back? Please share in the comments below if you have undergone some difficulties in your life the way that Joseph underwent in his life. Maybe you will find something that will tell you that God is always there, giving us a helping hand, stretching out His hand to help us pass through the difficulties in our life. So, our purpose in this life is not necessarily about sticking to a pre-rewritten script, but it is how we respond to every situation that we are put into or that we encounter. It is about how we learn to grow through the many challenges. And it is also how we continue to seek God and align ourselves with His love, with His values, with His humility, with His compassion, with His justice in the midst of all our challenges and difficulties. Did we learn something from our difficulties, from our challenges? Have we learned a lesson about mercy, about humility, about justice? Regarding humility, I have a story to tell. All of us went through the COVID-19 pandemic, right? What changes have we encountered during this pandemic? We went through a lot of difficulties, of anxieties, right? We went through changes in our schedules, in the pattern of our life, right? Yes, it's something that we had a common experience, right? At the start of the pandemic, our house helper was not able to come back to us. She got locked out. And so the three of us, my daughter and her husband and myself, had to make adjustments in our life. We divided the housework among the three of us and all the other activities that we have to go through. An activity that fell on me is cleaning of the outside of the house, the garden and everything outside of the house, and including cleaning dog poop. The first time that I had to do the cleaning, I was actually angry. And I even said to myself haughtily, is this what I have to do after getting a PhD? Oh no. So I went on for several days, and of course the pandemic went on for years, and so I had to do that because we had no help. So but then one day, I think after about a few days or about a week of cleaning dog poop, suddenly it dawned on me when I asked God, God, why do I have to go through this? And then it dawned on me, God was teaching me humility. Humility. I learned humility from cleaning dog poop. I apologize to God for being so full of pride of what I have accomplished in life. No, that activity taught me humility. And from then on, I learned not to rely on what I have accomplished, but to use all my accomplishments, all my difficulties, and offer all of this to God for His greater glory. After I learned that lesson, I developed an inner peace, which has stayed with me up to now. My heart has remained peaceful even in turmoils, difficulties, and challenges. What a lesson! Have you learned anything from the COVID-19 pandemic? Please share in the comments below. Okay? Romans 8 verse 28 reminds us, and we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love Him, who have been called according to His purpose. This doesn't mean that everything that happens is good, but that God can bring good out of even difficult situations, especially for those who trust in Him. So, next time that we encounter situations, difficult situations, let us put all our trust in God. He is there with us, and He can bring out something good from any difficult situation. I'll end here for now, but we will continue with part 3 of this series. In part 3, we will see how we can find freedom and purpose when life does not follow the script that we thought is God's plan for us. I hope to see you there then. Thank you for staying with me. And if this message resonated with you, please share with somebody who might also need this kind of message. Thank you. Please remember that God loves you. I love you. God bless you. I hope to see you again soon. Bye.